Okay, we're gonna talk about my 3 favorite foods for weight loss. You know, it's interesting because I always think when we approach weight loss, we always go to, what do I need to take out first? And that's where all of a sudden all the old patterns show up in our brain. I don't know if you're like me, but I get rebellious when somebody says you can't do that or don't do this. It makes me want to do it more. And so what I want to do on this video is really flip weight loss upside down and approach it from a different angle. What do we need to add in? Because food can help you lose weight. Now let's go back to the principle I've been teaching all of you, and it's called your metabolic switch. So all these years, I feel like the cultural conversation has been, my metabolism is slow. I'm gaining weight because my metabolism is slow. Well, you don't have one metabolism. You have 2. One that gets triggered when you eat food, and one that gets triggered when you don't eat food. In Fast Like a Girl, and actually in the Menopause Reset too, but in this book, there's a whole chapter on your metabolic switch and how when the sugar burner system is not being activated, your body switches over into the fat burner system and it starts to burn fat for energy, which is brilliant. This is why so many people have lost weight with Fast Like a Girl, is because I showed you how to metabolically switch. And for women, I showed you how to do that with your hormone. What I want to talk about on this video is, okay, well, what if I'm in the sugar burner system? Does that mean like I open up my eating window and then all of a sudden I'm just not burning fat? Nope. I promise you, I am bringing you more on food because there is so much you can do in the sugar burner system to keep losing weight. So here are 3 of my favorite foods and why they're my favorite foods for weight loss. Grass-fed meat. Okay, vegans, don't run off, please. The next 2 are not animal-based, but I really want to start to emphasize that we have 3 macros. We have protein, we have carbohydrates, and we have fat. Now, we're starting to have this conversation that not all fat is made equal. We're also starting to have a conversation that not all carbs are made equal. And what about protein? All protein is not made equal. So when we talk about meat, I want to start to separate this out. There is conventional meat and there is grass-fed meat. And even though those are both coming from an animal product, they have massively different effects on your body. Conventional meat has several challenges, and I'm not a fan of conventional meat, just so we're clear. Conventional meat, those animals, those cows are fed grain. Their glucose system is up. So when you eat that kind of animal, you're actually spiking your glucose. So we don't like that. We want your glucose to stay low. That's the whole thing about priming this metabolic switch. So conventional meat is fed grain, and grain spikes your glucose. When glucose goes up, insulin goes up, and that's the path towards insulin resistance. The second thing I don't like about conventional grain or conventional meat is they put so many toxic hormones and antibiotics in there. So there's growth hormone in there to make them bigger, and they put other hormones in there to preserve the meat, and they do antibiotics in there so that they can keep infection down. So everything that they put into a conventional animal goes into you. And what we know is that there's something called an obesogen. And obesogens are chemicals that make us insulin resistant. And many of those hormones and toxins that they pump into those conventional animals are causing you to become insulin resistant because they're an obesogen. So we also know, if you didn't know, this is really, really important, that one of the major determinants of our blood sugar are our bacteria in our gut. So when you're eating an animal full of antibiotics, you're killing the bacteria in your gut. You are literally eating the antibiotic and killing the bacteria in your gut. So one grain-fed conventional animal is creating more metabolic challenges. Okay, let's come over to the grass-fed animal. The grass-fed animal has been out on the pasture eating grass. And that grass is increasing what we call an omega-3 fatty acid. Now, this is really important. This concept is really, really important because in our body, we have a need for omega-3, 6, and 9 fatty acids. And we need those to be in balance. When we've been eating a very highly processed flour and sugar diet, high chemicals like most of the Western world, we increase the bad omega-6s. And that throws that whole omega-3, 6, 9 balance off. When the bad omega-6s go up, we call that an inflammatory situation. So for a lot of you, when you tell me you're bloated or you have a lot of belly fat, that's just inflammation. And that inflammation can be coming from too many omega-6s. Now, you may be cleaning up your diet now, but maybe 10 years ago, you ate more of a Western standard diet that was high in these processed foods. So your omega-6s are still high. So your need for omega-3s to balance that out and bring inflammation down may be really high. So when we eat foods that are high in omega-3, like grass-fed meat, we start to neutralize or equal out this ratio of omega-3, 6, and 9, and that brings the inflammation down. So there was a really interesting study. Again, I'm going to leave all the links for the studies here. It was a 2022 study that compared this conventional grain animal to the grass-fed beef animal. And they found that the grass-fed beef animal had significantly higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids, and that created a lower inflammatory response in the body. How cool is that? So, okay, well, let's go to the people who are like, wait a second, what about the China study? What about, like, I thought meat was bad for my heart, and I thought meat was harmful for my body. Conventional meat. Absolutely. That is, there's never a day I'm going to tell you that you pump an animal full of toxins and antibiotics and feed them a bunch of grains and that humans win when they eat that. That's crazy making. But a grass-fed animal, a wild animal that's been out on the pasture and eating grass and hasn't been pumped full of all of those nutrients, maybe on a regenerative farm that has rich soil, now you have a nutrient there. So we have to separate that out. This is what I want you to know, is 30 grams of protein is magic per meal. What we know about 30 grams of protein is that when you get that significant amount of protein, it opens up an amino acid receptor site that allows all the other protein you eat for that day to come into the muscle and build the muscle strong. So here, check this out. There was a 2019 study that found that more than 30 grams of protein in a single meal significantly increased the calories people burned for several hours afterwards. So that means you eat a meal that has 30 grams of protein in it. The meal's over. You're still in the sugar burst state, but you're still burning calories. That's cool. So how does that work? Well, we know that protein builds muscle, and we know that people have more muscle are also going to burn more fat. This is why typically we've seen men burn more fat than women, because typically men are more prone to muscle building, primarily because of the hormone testosterone, because they have more of that. But we, as women, can start to really increase our calorie burning, our fat burning. Even though we're in this sugar burner mindset, we can increase it by doing 30 grams of protein. And grass-fed meat is an amazing way to do that. Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free. And it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool. And it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy. Second one, this is my favorite. And those of you who've been following me for a while, what's my favorite food? Sweet potatoes. Okay, they're amazing for so many reasons. For starters, they almost shouldn't be called the sweet potato, because what's really funny is that when you look at a white potato or a russet potato, and then you look at a sweet potato, you would think this one tastes sweet, this one doesn't taste sweet, so this one, because it tastes sweet, must raise my glucose more. It actually doesn't. This is why I love a sweet potato. A sweet potato has a lower glycemic response than a regular potato. So what that means is when you eat it, your blood sugar doesn't spike as much as if you eat a white potato or a red potato. So, and there's lots of reasons why you should eat more sweet potatoes. For one, they help make progesterone. So for all my women out there, if you're postmenopausal, you should be bathing in sweet potatoes. If you are cycling still the week before your period, it's a great opportunity to bring sweet potatoes in to maximize the production of progesterone. We also know that sweet potatoes feed certain bacteria in your gut, specifically the purple one. So the purple on the inside, those feed a bacteria in your lower gut that help to create a better gut diversity. So let's talk about that for a moment. You have trillions of different microbes in your gut. They say that there's thousands of different species. We're still trying to figure all that out. The world of microbes is fairly new. But what we do know is that certain foods feed different microbes. And the sweet potato that is purple, you could call it a yam too. Got a lot of like lingo around this one potato. Is it a yam? Is it a sweet potato? Curious your thoughts, put it in the comment. But the purple one, the purple on the inside and the purple in the skin, specifically feeds a bacteria in the lower intestine that balances blood sugar. When I buy sweet potatoes, I buy as many different colors as possible. I chop them all up. The different colors have different antioxidants in them. They're phenomenal for that. So I especially love sweet potatoes for my postmenopausal women, and I love sweet potatoes for women before they cycle so we can help with progesterone. Okay, third one. It's sort of a food. It can go with every food, and that is MCT oil. MCT oil is the hero of the day for oils. And let me tell you why. What we know is that MCT oil, this is why you put it in your coffee. What we know is when you drink it or eat it, it stimulates a part of the brain and will turn off hunger. This is why we use it in so many recipes and so many drinks in the fasting state, because it doesn't spike blood sugar, but it turns the hunger hormone off. Now, this is really interesting. I found a study that showed, several studies that found that 1 to 2 tablespoons of MCT oil a day has you burning 5% more calories that day. So I don't know, I was in the gym recently and my trainer put me on this like bike machine and she said, go until you burn 5 calories. Do you know how hard it was to burn 5 calories? I was huffing and puffing just to burn 5 calories. It was much easier to put MCT oil in my cup of coffee and get a 5% increase in calorie burning. That's pretty amazing. The other a couple other studies that we found were that overweight people who added 1 to 2 MCT oil tablespoons to their regular food just throughout the day saw a significant decrease in weight and a significant increase in their metabolic rate. What I'm trying to get you all to see around weight loss is that it's a chemistry. It's a chemical reaction in your body. This misconception that we got to put our head down and deprive ourselves and work hard in the gym. I love working hard in the gym, don't get me wrong. I just don't think we need to deprive ourselves. That we have to be smart and understand what's going to increase the burning of fat, the burning of calories. How do we time all of that? This is what I'm teaching you here. So MCT oil is so important for that. And those of you that are struggling to get into ketosis, MCT oil can be the lubricator that gets you over there a lot quicker. I also found a really cool study I'll put in there, a 2019 study that showed about the suppression of appetite and how when you drink MCT oil on a regular basis, your appetite goes down. So these are 3 powerful foods. And I want you to really deeply think about this because this is when we're looking at long-term weight releasing results. We have to be smart about it. It's not about more deprivation. It's about being more strategic and with what you're eating and when you're eating. And that is everything I'm trying to teach you. So of these 3 things, put it in the comments. Which one are you not eating that you're like, whoa, I think I should start eating that? I want to know. So put it in the comments. If you have any great recipes amongst these, you can put it in the comments. And as always, I love your stories about weight releasing and how much weight you've lost. So those of you who have lost weight, listening to my videos, reading my books, I want to know. Put in the comments how much weight you've lost because that is my dopamine rush. When I see that I can give you a free resource, I can sit here in my office, I can educate you. You can take this principle. You can go lose weight. And we never even meet each other. That to me is what it means to be a humble servant. And that's why I'm here. So as always, I hope that helps. Okay, you trying to maximize your weight loss? Apple cider vinegar may be the key. Go check out this video where I show you exactly when, how, and why you want to use it for weight loss. Apple cider vinegar changes your microbiome of your gut. This good bacteria is going to help to bring your blood sugar down and make it so that you can switch over into the fat burning state.